programming project. So for this project, the leader was Varun Joshi. The project name is HouseSite. The description, we have to build a website where you can sell houses. All team members and their respective project responsibilities. Varun Joshi is the team leader. Starting code for CSS, PHP, HTML, and login functionality. Vimet Jawardana. You create a slides and CSS and PHP. Kenyon Jones, CSS functionality and HTML on seller page. Ibrahim slides and HTML. Alexander Cosmos slides, CSS, PHP. And the GitHub link is HTTPS. And the link right here, as you can see. So, statement of the problem: create a site that allows people to sell real estate on it. Nice.
The general requirements for this project were the HTML structure, which was HTML should be used to structure the PHP pages and the sites. The CS styles, there should be CSS styles to make the web pages aesthetically pleasing and easy to use. Then we had our PHP, which communicated with the database and stored usernames and passwords and house information. Other overview or solutions, the basic idea was to create a real estate site where users can register as user, admins, or sellers. They can sell houses, buy houses, or be an admin and see the overall flow of the business.
So the key design features, so we have this login and registration page that puts everything in a CQL database and redirecting user to appropriate a page based on if they are buyer, seller, or admin. So fleshing out seller page to allow one to add and update and delete houses and view houses. So home page, so the user can log in or register on this page, and PHP tracks everything behind the scenes and updates the front end and each time user admit data.
So the register page is pretty simple. So we have the ID, which is whatever username. So that's in the actual SQL database. That's going to be the ID. We track the first name, last name, email, and then password. And then we also let the user select what type of user they want to be. So admin, seller, or buyer. And then here we have the actual code. So for here, once we actually get like a request submitted, we have the ID. First, like we get from the form the ID, the first name, last name, email, password, the user type. Make sure the username is not already taken within the database. And then if it is not taken, then we go ahead and insert everything into the database. And then we redirect them to login.php. And then here we have two functions that just check for if the username is taken. And then they also just validate the input, just removing any stuff that might bother, like that might disrupt the SQL command. Here we have the login page. Login page is super simple, just username, password, and then depending on which type of user you are, it'll direct you to a different page, the admin, buyer, or seller page. So here we get the username and password when the user clicks submit. We find that user within our username table called user table. We make sure that the passwords match, and then based on which, we have a thing in the user table called user type, and it can be either admin, seller, or buyer. So if it's admin, then they'll go to admin.html. If it's seller, they'll go to seller.php and we'll pass in the username. And if it's buyer, then we'll go to buyer.html. Otherwise, if they do the wrong password, we say incorrect password, or we say username not found if the username does not exist in the database. Now we'll move to the seller page.
All right, so here on the seller page, this is where the seller gets their dashboard to see their properties that are listed. They can add properties here, delete them, and they can also view more intricate details for the properties on another page.
Now click down.
And then here on the properties page, this is where you see like more details for the properties. There's a edit details button that will open up a form to update the properties that are shown here. And you can also go back to the seller page and it will update your properties list in real time with the new updated information. All right, and the login and properties page, so this is the code for it. So for the seller page, we have it will display a list of your property cards. It pulls information from your database, and you can also store information to the database from this page too to make your cards appear in real time. There is a dynamic form too. When you want to add a property, you click on the like empty card with a plus button in it, and that will pull up a window to add a new property. And then when you go to the details page, it kind of works the same way as your seller page. It will just show all the details of the property, and there's a little JavaScript that allows you to pull up an edit details window to update the details of the property, and it will change in real time. And you can go back to your seller page and see like the new updated parameters for your properties there.
So for the testing plan, basically to make sure that everything worked, we just went through and registered 3 types of users: the admin, buyer, seller, made sure they were correctly redirected when they logged in, made sure that we could register all types of users, and then we checked the updating, deletion, and creation of properties, and then also, just made sure that we could view everything. For the Scrum methodology, again, we kind of did the same thing that we've been doing. We implemented daily stand-ups for 15 minutes and used a Kanban board, and then every time we had a stand-up, we would just go over kind of what we were doing today, what we did yesterday, and then any blockers that we had, and this dramatically sped up the workflow. So now we'll dive into a demo. So here is the actual front page for our website. This is what it looks like. Here we have the login and the register. So let's go ahead and register a seller. So we'll do seller 2. We'll make the username seller, the last name seller, the email seller @1. The password will be seller, and the user type we'll set as seller. Now if we register and go here, we can do seller 2, log in, and now we have this page. So now let's go ahead and add a property. So let's set the location to Atlanta, the age of the house to be 2, square footage to be 2,000, number of bedrooms 3, bathrooms 3. Let's say it has a garden, parking capacity is 3, and the property price is $300,000. So if we add the property, we can see it here. We can view the details, we can edit the details. So if we click on this, let's say we want to remove the has garden, so we can say that has garden no. You can see it here. We can delete, and now it's gone. So that's what that looks like. So now let's also make sure that the redirects work for the buyer pages. So we have a couple of accounts already made for buyers. So this goes to the buyer page. This was one of the milestones that we didn't implement. And then here, again, if we do admin, so we have another account that we've already made just to make the demo run a little quicker. We have the admin page as well. So everything correctly redirects based on which one that you use. So that's our whole project.